Hi everybody, welcome back to The Sims 4. I built a rainbow, apartment block, kind of. I don't know, like a neighborhood, kind of. I think you could kind of see it, and I may have mentioned it in the last video, where I built a pink base game house. I had to move the lot to put it on the gallery because it was only showing, from this side of the pink house instead of the front. So this is right now on a 40 by 50 lot, the one in Newcrest. But it fits and was built on a 40 by 30 lot. As you can see, the wall on this side is a little bit weird compared to this side where it's fully surrounded. That's just because this was intended for a 40 by 30 lot. I might actually just fix this so it's at least symmetrical, because that's kind of annoying, but whatever. So yeah, there's obviously rainbow. I have this set right now as just a regular residential. It was quite annoying to have it as a residential rental, so I will advise that you set that for yourself. And I will put the cheat on the gallery, so because the limit is only 6 houses, but there's 7. So you need a cheat for there to be another one, but it is just kind of annoying to have it set as a residential rental. I might post it twice, have one as a residential rental and one just as a residential lot type. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think that might be better. But let's start the tour in the red house. So there's this nice little entryway, just a few little things over here, and then right beside it you can see there's this living room. I like this vampire's wallpaper. I use it a lot. I didn't use it a lot in this specific build, but I do really like this and I use it a lot, definitely. This build, by the way, is not very pack friendly. I guess I used a lot of stuff in it. I tried to limit it once I got further down the line, but I wasn't very smart in the first few houses, so oh well. But in here we have a sort of dining room and a kitchen. I think all of these are 1 bedroom houses, sort of. I don't even know if they can be called houses, but all of them can have up to 2 Sims. I think I put double beds in every single one of them. In the blue house there's another bedroom, which you will see in a moment, and I'll explain the sort of lore with this in a moment. But over here we have the bathroom. I think this person is a little bit more kind of, I don't want to say gothic. I don't think it's really gothic. They're a bit more alternative. I put a little typewriter in here. I think they would definitely be a writer, and this is their bed. Little alarm clock. Obviously obsessed with the color red. And this is their little studio. I think they're also really into more vintage, old-timey things. I don't know if that's the right word. They really like some older stuff. So that's really just the style of this house that I went with. I really like this one. I think this one is one of my favorites. Actually, I think this one is my favorite. So this is also my favorite sort of style to build with. So this was really fun to do. And it got me really excited for the other stuff, but I don't think I put as much effort into the other builds, so apologies for that. Let's move on to the orange house. This one is a bit more modern. They got some plants. Every house has some sort of plant outside, I'm pretty sure, except blue. Or actually no, they have up there. I'm forgetting my own stuff. But I've sort of these are 2 separate things. I've made these sort of little plant pots. I think it's cute. With a little bench in between. It's pretty modern. This yellow house is also very modern. I think they're friends, you know? Oh my god. There is a lot of lore. I think this person in the red house is I think this person has been here the longest, and they've sort of seen the houses evolve into what they are now, and they sort of passed on, maybe not to each house, but they've sort of passed on this red house to each generation. So maybe it's a grandparent that lives here who babysits their granddaughter, grandson, or whatever in this house, and they sort of see everything that's gone on here. But with this orange house, there is some solar panels on the top and this like solar roofing. I like to use this sometimes. It gives you some power, but they've also got the solar panels as well. So they are like pretty eco-friendly, but also quite modern. But you have the stairs leading up to the entryway here, and here is the living room. Got some nice little decorations, lots of like succulents. I was really taking inspiration from Oasis Springs with this build, especially with the outside. I don't know, I kind of just wanted to show it off a little bit. I don't think I use this style a lot, and of course there's some plants clipping. Yeah, so I've kind of covered it up with a cactus. But that's fine. We've got a nice big, like, square, blocky window. And I've used this lamp twice. I think I used it in... Did I use it in here? No, I didn't. I think I wanted to use this lamp. Yeah, in every single house, but I actually didn't. But we've got, like, a little gaming console and a speaker. And then over here, we have the kitchen. Just a pretty basic orange kitchen. I think it's like a pretty expensive looking kitchen that's clipping. Yeah, I don't build a lot of modern houses. It's just not my sort of like style or vibe. So when I do, it's more like a challenge, I guess. And I think that's quite fun. I like doing challenges. That also makes me avoid it a little bit more. Over here is kind of like a tiny little dining spot with an absolutely giant painting of a breakfast. Not much here. There's a little plant on the table. And then here is kind of like a little hallway, sort of. Except this door is open. And that leads to the bathroom. There's not really anything exciting in here. It's not very orange, but there's not a lot of orange bathroom furniture. So I just use like black and like orange and white and stuff. And then the same tile from the kitchen. I mean, I think I use this tile pretty much throughout the whole house except where it's carpeted. And then here they also have a computer. They have a little like streaming recording computer in their bedroom. Nice little desk. I put some curtains on here so they can like close it so that, you know, maybe if a second person does live here, they can just close it and then nobody's like walking by and you don't see them. They also make music. So I've put this little guitar here. I wanted to put a microphone, but I couldn't. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just couldn't find an orange microphone, so I just didn't. I could have put a black one. Well, whatever. I think they do like make music and they stream making music or something like that. Or they like make guitar tutorials, something like that. I don't really go that deep into the lore with like their hobbies and stuff. Next is the yellow house. Okay, I fixed that. That was bugging me. So on to the yellow house. I really hated making this house, I won't lie. I think this one and the purple house as well. I had like no idea what to do, and I absolutely hated it. Especially this floor plan. This was so difficult to do for like no reason. But anyways, here, I feel like I should have switched these now that I'm thinking about it, but it's too late. I'm only doing minor changes while recording this. I'm not changing the whole thing, but basically you enter. Here's like the sort of dining table. I think this person probably has like dinner party, so they have a larger dining table. This is obviously like a very rich looking house, I guess. I mean, the richest house is the blue house, but we haven't got there yet. That's the house with all the lore. So I'm saving that. And then right next to the dining table, we have like a little living room. Not much to it. And then I'll go to the bathroom. And here we have a bathroom. There's not really much to it either. I like to think like this stuff is like all gold and stuff, like sort of like the flooring. But I like it. I think, yeah, this is an okay bathroom. Not one of my favorites, but it's alright. And then next to the bathroom, we have like a sort of, I think this is called like a galley kitchen. And I'm realizing I didn't add a sink. I'm gonna do that quickly. Put that there. Actually, no, put it across the fridge. Yeah, I think this is called a galley kitchen. We're gonna ignore that I forgot the sink. There's not really much to it. Some nice cabinets on both sides. I think some pretty expensive appliances as well. Here I put the microphone and the guitar. But this is the bedroom. This is definitely the home of a musician. So they're a little bit more rich. I think they're more of like an up-and-coming musician. They're not really like super famous yet. They're not like, I don't know, I guess I'll say like Taylor Swift. I feel like they're more into like jazz music, so maybe not Taylor Swift. But yeah, they're like a musician. I really like this bed. From Cottage Living, I believe. Yes. Yeah, I like this bed. And then this is also the only house with a closet like this, so that's pretty nice. And that's the yellow house. Now we're moving on to one of the houses that are really a part of the lore, which is the greenhouse. And as you can see out front, the blue house is sort of taking over the space of the yellow house. Everything else is in line except this. And they've probably like paid to like do all this concrete and stuff. And they've literally made the path for the greenhouse like curve so it doesn't touch their path, but they obviously just walk right through anyways, because why? It's stupid. But this house is like a little bit like poorer, I guess. It's the smallest house, as you can see by the size, and the roof is sort of like decayed a little bit. Let's go inside. So we have some like secondhand furniture and stuff. These counters are new though. They are a bit scuffed, but I mean that just happens over time. These are also wooden counters. This is a pretty nice sink. I think because it's gold, I think the yellow house like sort of helped them like do like a bit of revamping of their kitchen and everything. And like it's just sort of helping them out a little bit, because I think this house, they've gone through like a lot of hardships, I think that's the right word. They've gone through a lot of hard times, so they don't have like a lot of money to really fix this house and like make it bigger like everyone else in this neighborhood. In their bedroom, they don't really have a lot. They have like a little shelf with some clothes, some shirts, some drawers, and a little mattress on the ground. I think that's an inflatable mattress. From the camping pack. But then in the bathroom, got like this. I don't really like how this shower is like a bag, so we're just gonna pretend like it's an actual shower with just this sort of green like shower curtain. And like I think this frame too. Maybe not like metal poles as the frame, but like a black metal frame that's like actually proper and supposed to be there. And this is also the only house that has a little gate. Now we're on to the blue house, the house with like all the lore and stuff. And this is the only house that is 2 stories. And I really hate the people that live here. When I was thinking on what to do for this house, I had like an idea for like the outside. So there's like a pool. I wanted a pool for this house. And to have a pool, it needed to be like 2 stories. And then I was gonna put a balcony here, but it just didn't fit with everything on the inside. But these are the richest people that live here. But they did not get rich from their job. I think the people that live here, I think it's 2 people. And they are like kleptomaniacs and burglars and criminals. Like they are not good people. So there's some stuff in here. This was meant to be a blue swatch, but it was sort of like my inspiration for them to be kleptomaniacs, because this looks purple. And there's a purple house, so I'm thinking like, I think they would have stolen that. And I think some stuff they would have painted. Like in here, I know this is just like a sort of swatch thing. But in this bucket, there's like a pink little towel, and I think they would have stolen something like that. Like they just steal mini stuff, and they keep that stuff. The bigger stuff they sell, and that's how they make their money. And I really hate that, because that's really greedy and like disgusting. But anyways, on with the tour, I guess. So you walk in through the door. There's some tall plants on the side. And then over here is the living room. It's kind of small. And again, they have another gaming console. I debated, honestly, making this orange. Like, they stole it from the orange house, and then the orange house replaced their own. But no, I think they would have, like, sold the orange one and then bought their own. I don't know. But then here is the kitchen. It's a very big kitchen. Not really much to say. They have, like, a lot of, like, expensive stuff. They have a dishwasher, a microwave, like this trash can that makes money for them. They have an island. This is where they eat. This fridge is like a smart fridge. Yeah, they have like a pretty nice kitchen, and then also like marble countertops. And then in here is the one and only bathroom. There's not very much to say about it. There's some towels. It's a bathroom. Yeah, I tried to make everything match. It was kind of hard. There's a lot of blue swatches, but they're hard to match still. And then anyways, in here I was thinking this is sort of like a maid's or a butler's room or something. That's why there's like a bed in here with like a washer and a dryer. And then we go upstairs to this like little private hallway with some lights on the sides. There's lights on the walls because it's a glass roof and there's not really like a ceiling. I know this looks kind of weird. That would basically just be draping. It wouldn't actually be like pinned up there, but whatever. So they've got this sort of divider to like split off the room, because as you can see it kind of like comes out here and then it comes into the sort of like rooftop backyard thing. I don't have Lovestruck, but I saw like this sort of thing in the Lovestruck trailer. So I decided to put it in because I thought it was cool. So there's like a pool as well, like some nice chairs, and then here we have an orange bench, like a picnic table, an orange picnic table, and I thought that was really fitting because outside it looks like they have a lot more room for like a picnic table, but they don't have one, so I think they stole it. Anyways, and then here they have like an expensive computer. I think they would have stolen this idea from, I think, the Orange House as well. Yeah, they've definitely stolen a lot of ideas or stuff from the Orange House, but the Orange House was able to afford it. The greenhouse definitely wasn't. I feel like the people in the greenhouse, they were a lot more rich. They just liked a smaller home. But then the people in the blue house, because they're right next door and it's so easy to steal, they just took everything, and it's quite sad. Like this painting, it's quite green. There's blue on it and there's also purple. It's quite green mostly. There's not a lot of blue and purple, so I think they would have stolen that as well. And then there's their bed and stuff. And that's the blue house. Now we're moving on to the purple house. Same with the yellow house. I did not like building this one. I had an idea for it. I wanted to make this sort of like a family kind of home. Obviously, it did not go to plan. It looks really empty. I feel like these people just moved in, so that's why it's kind of empty. But anyways, you walk in. Here's the nice purple kitchen. They have a little pressure cooker. Yeah, pressure cooker there. Pretty basic kitchen with a little island. I thought it was just really empty here without the island. But as you can see, there's a little high chair here. And there's definitely like a lot of empty like photo frames all around. But I'll show off the little living room first. This is a very tiny living room. There's a little toy on there on the table and a bookshelf here, like a kid's bookshelf. There wasn't a lot of purple bookshelves, I'll be honest. And I didn't want to use like a black or a white one, so I just went with that one. Then here is the bathroom. We have a robe on the door. It doesn't move with the door though, so your Sims will just like walk through it. So you can get rid of that if like you use this house and you want it and you don't like that. But I don't know, I think there was nowhere really else to put it, and I just realized I didn't put like a toothbrush or anything. I did that at like every house except this one. But anyways, here's the bathroom. Bathtub, obviously, because there's an infant in this house. There's like a nice little family here. This is their bathroom. And then here's their bedroom. Here's where their infant sleeps. This is obviously like a more temporary type of like crib. I feel like this is like their first sort of home, like whoever lives here. And they really like weren't planning on starting a family while living here, but it just happened, I guess. I don't know. But they have like a little goldfish or something. This is not a good fish bowl, but whatever. And there's a camera here for all their photos that they'll be taking. I think like there's a photographer and like an animal enthusiast or something that lives here. Or maybe just like a stay-at-home mom or dad or something. But yeah, this is their little purple house. And then on to the pink house, which I heavily took inspiration from the last video that I did, where I built a pink base game house. So this entire house is base game. or should be base game, I'm pretty sure. And I used a lot of stuff, like the kitchen is very similar. I think I changed some stuff. I used this bookshelf and this plant, like this sort of similar setup. It was just like all rearranged a bit. So I guess this is a plug-in to go check out that house in that video. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's very similar to this though. That's all I'm saying. I did have like a little coffee machine thing. But I got rid of it just to save like space in this kitchen because it's very small. And then we have like a tiny little like dining space here. I don't really want to use like that expensive painting, but I think it's just gonna have to go there because it looks so empty. But yeah, that was a base game starter home. So if you don't want this whole thing and you just like this little house, you can download it on the gallery, and it's just its own little thing. And then there's dumpsters on the sides. So let's go into the bedroom. Again, in that pink starter home, it was an artist that I had decided lived there. So there is a little easel here, and then there's a mirror. I'm actually gonna move that because mirrors should not face beds. There's a cute little thing here. And that's basically it. There's not much in here at all. I feel like I should have put up more. Ooh, I'm actually realizing now. This was the wallpaper. So I'm gonna change it to that. This was the wallpaper in the bedroom, so that's why it's like this. It's kind of ugly, I won't lie, but it sort of just goes with the lore with this person. I said a lot more of the lore in the video, but basically, like, they're an artist. I think they're maybe the newest addition to this little, like, block thing. But they, like, painted the squares on their walls themselves and stuff like that. They don't really have a lot to do with the other houses. It's mostly the blue house that has to do with other houses, but not much else. And the greenhouse as well. But anyways, this is the bathroom. It's quite small and skinny. I will playtest this before I put it on the gallery, and I will change it if something goes wrong. But this, your Sims should be able to get here. Everything should be fine. I don't think I really, like, risked stuff like this a lot. Like, I know these beds Sims can get to. I'll still like check everything, or as much as I can check like the stuff that I'm not confident in. But anyways, this is the bathroom. I think it's sort of similar to what I did with the other house. I can't remember what tile I like exactly put in here. But this is the one that is in here. And then we just have like a basic shower. I think this is the only one with just a shower. Now that I think about it, I think everything else has a bath and a shower at least. Or no, the greenhouse as well does. And then here, the mailboxes, I think they're also kind of important with the lore. So like there's 3 houses, and then there's the greenhouse in the middle. I feel like that's kind of like an obvious thing with sort of shapes of them. So I feel like originally, before like the pink house or something came, this one wasn't there. And it was just these, and the greenhouse would have been this one. Then, since the pink house has come, they've added on this green mailbox with like all like the stickers and the sort of like scuffs on it. And I think the blue house really controls a lot of the stuff here. They may not own like this block, but they control a lot of it, which is quite sad. They're very corrupt people, and I do not like them one bit. So that is the Rainbow Apartments house. Not a house tour, it's an apartment tour. That's the Rainbow Apartments. I almost said it again. That is the Rainbow Apartments tour. I will put this on the gallery by the time this video is uploaded. And like I said, this fits on a 40 by 30 lot. So you don't have to like worry about that. The only thing is it will be sideways. So it'll be like this way or this way, depending how you place it, because I will upload it from this lot. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like the video, of course. And if you want to see more, then definitely subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. It's just there if you want to. I'm hoping to soon do a legacy challenge. I know I started the Not So Berry challenge, but I don't know. I kind of just want to start and do something on my own. I don't know if I'll come back to the Not So Berry challenge, at least with that specific save file. I'll definitely figure it out. If you want to see the Not So Berry challenge, leave a comment. I'll definitely get around to doing it. I just want to start my own thing first, I think. But yeah, bye everybody.